12, episode 4, Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. Yes, that is a bit of a mouthful, but that's what the episode is called. So yeah, welcome to my review. Just before we start, if you haven't seen the episode, this does contain spoilers, so I would recommend watch the episode and then come back to this video if you want to do that. And also, yeah, sorry about the delay. I was hoping to do it on Sunday, as I've done, you know, with Spyfall and Orphan 55. But well, what happened on Sunday was basically I was getting ready to go on air. I was doing. I thought I was going to do 2 streams, and I was pretty exhausted. Also, I spilled water. Luckily, it didn't go on the wires into the computer itself, but it was all over the desk, so I had to clean that up. So that's why it was a bit of a delay, but better late than never. That's what the saying goes. Right. So first of all, let's check the sound. Let's see if everything's working correctly. So you'll hear me. Okay, I am going live, but it should be coming up on YouTube. Oh, come on. Oh, maybe I just need to refresh it. Funny that. I knew that. Oh, maybe I just need to refresh it. Funny that. Okay, the sound is working. So, let's go. So, I think this episode was definitely better than Orphan 55, which to me wasn't great. However, it kind of still bothers me that Series 12, Series 12 and Series 11. Oh, I mean, look, I don't mind historical characters. I mean, the Shakespeare Code. I recently watched that on iPlayer, which is a great story. Lots of great moments with that, and I don't mind that. The Unicorn and the Wasp. Well, that's not great, really. But I'm starting to get a bit fed up with this. I mean, we've had Ada Lovelace and Noor Inayat Khan. I mean, look, the thing that bothers me, and it's not just me, it's lots of the fans. Doctor Who feels like it has to be educational now. Now, I get the original creator Sidney Newman in the 1960s wanted that to be educational and entertaining, but this is not the 1960s. Doctor Who was fine as it was before, and yet, well, it seems that Chibnall has decided to restore that for no reason. I mean, just, well, yeah, it's yeah, so it's yeah, but anyway, it was a good episode, with lots of good moments, but that does bother me. I mean, does that mean literally nearly every episode has to have a historic figure? Does that mean that we have to learn about someone? Does that mean every episode has to be an education rather than entertainment? I mean, I don't know, but I'm giving Series 12 its last chance. If Series 12, the rest of it, isn't good, I'm not sure I'll stick around, because at the moment, well, they're alright, but it needs to be better. This standard just isn't good enough, I'm afraid. Yes, the episode was okay and did have a lot of good notes. I want I want to be entertained, and so purely for entertainment, I don't want the Doctor to be going about climate change, and I don't want the actor to be going around talking about climate change and stuff. Doctor Who should be escapism from all the real stuff. Brexit, climate change, okay? I get that those are issues, but that was the thing that really bugged me about Orphan 55, and at least Nikola Tesla didn't do it. It still feel that we just have to be educated every single episode of this series, which is why, well, we've got the Jadoon coming next week, so that'll be interesting, whether that will be once again an educational episode and the Jadoon will be ruined. I just don't have much confidence with Doctor Who at the moment. I'm sorry, Chibnall, but you're just not doing it for me. Jodie's a great actor, but the writing just isn't good enough. We've waited a year for this, and this is what we're getting. And stop having the black bars to chop. Most TVs are widescreen now, so you don't need to worry about black bars. Stop cutting off bits of the picture. And well, yes. So yes, I'm still not overly happy, really, but well, we'll see, won't we? Right. Sorry. Anyway, back to the episode. Yes. Sorry. So we did have some really good villains. In fact, they reminded me of the Empress of Ragnoth. In case you've forgotten, the Empress of Ragnoth was the Spider Queen monster that David Tennant's 10th Doctor faced off in The Runaway Bride, played by Sarah Parish, who I think was quite a good villain. And she was played by Anjali Mahindra. Yeah. That's Rani Chandra from the Sarah Jane Adventures, and I knew Anjali was coming back, but goodness me, I must admit, that's considering she was in prosthetics, I would not have recognised her. No, I thought he was a man, I really did, but no, Anjali Mahindra, and she did a great job with that, and yeah, good to see her pop back to Doctor Who. I mean, she's done very well since the Sarah Jane Adventures. She's been Bodyguard, of course. Right, so this episode starts at Niagara Falls. Nikola Tesla is unsuccessful in getting investors for his wireless power transmission system because people think it's dangerous and crazy. So he fixes his generator, working late. He comes across this floating orb. He makes a run with his assistant Dominic Skerritt as a cloaked figure shoots at them, and for some, we're saying, fans were thinking they were ripping off Star Wars with these cloaked figures, the fact that they blasted out electricity. Do you know, they were quite similar to the Sith, and yet I just did not think of that at the time. Well, actually, I did think of Palpatine, but yeah, they are quite like the Sith. Anyway, so the Doctor arrives in time. Now, this is my major criticism. The TARDIS just seems an utter waste. If you're not gonna actually show them in the TARDIS, this is another thing about this series. The TARDIS just seems to be there because it has to be there. It really does bother me that if you're gonna use the TARDIS, just use it wisely. I mean, the TARDIS in this story is, to be fair, used wisely, but I like seeing the TARDIS arrive, the Doctor and the companions stepping out the doors and arriving, rather than the Doctor just straight off comes in. So yeah, just a mime thing. So anyway, the Doctor arrives in time to luckily help them escape aboard a train which is heading to New York City, and ditching the figure by detaching the car. So in New York, the Doctor and her friends find protesters waiting outside Nikola Tesla's lab, having been goaded into fearing Tesla and his inventions by his competitor Thomas Edison, of course, inventor of the light bulb, electricity. Electric, and yeah. The Doctor identifies the orb as an orb of Fatha, designed to share knowledge, but repropose 3 unique goals. After spotting a spy for Thomas Edison, the Doctor, Graham and Ryan, they visit Thomas Edison's workshop and suspect him to be behind the attack on Nikola Tesla because Thomas Edison is a rival to Nikola Tesla and they pretty much hate each other. You do get actually a good amount of comedy from Robert Glenister, yes, who's not American, but he does a pretty good New York accent, and he plays Thomas Edison. And Goran Visnjc, he's a Croatian, plays Nikola Tesla. It's okay. But the villains, the Skifra, they were very good. So the cloaked figure that appeared earlier, he arrives at Thomas Edison's lab and fatally electrocutes everyone in the workshop, so they're all dead. The group, so that's the Doctor, Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, traps one of the said creatures in a chemical ring of fire, but it escapes by transportation. The Doctor tries to warn Nikola Tesla and Yaz, one of her friends, companions, back in his lab, but the two are captured and teleported to an invisible alien ship above the city. The Queen of the Skifra demands they fix her ship. When Tesla refuses, the Queen threatens to kill Yaz, but the Doctor transports herself onto the ship just in time. Now the Skifra, they don't like to do things themselves. They like to steal parts from any ship. So imagine having a console nicked from the Daleks, something from the Time Lords, something from the Cybermen. Well, you get the point. It would have been good if the Jadoon actually arrested the Skifra for theft. After all, they are the space police and they are coming back next episode. Anyway, so yes. So the two are captured and teleported to the ship. The Queen of the Skifra demands they fix her ship. Nikola Tesla refuses. The Queen threatens to kill Yaz, but the Doctor transports herself onto the ship just in time. She learns that, like I said, that the Skifra ship is just a collection of stolen parts from various species, and the Skifra just use others to do their work for them. So basically slaves. The Skifra also choose Nikola Tesla as an engineer because he was able to discover their signal while he'd been working on his wireless power system, which implied that he was responsible for the very early concept of Wi-Fi. The Doctor transports herself, Nikola Tesla and Yaz back to Tesla's Warden Cliff, I'm not sure. Anyway, lab. The Doctor wants the Queen of the Skifra to leave, but the Queen refuses, threatening if Nikola Tesla's not given over, she will destroy Earth. While Tesla and the Doctor use the TARDIS, yes, the TARDIS is actually used to do something useful. finally, to help power Tesla's Warning Tower. Graham, Ryan, Yaz, Dorothy, and Edison ward off the invading Scorpion, like Skifra. Yeah, they're basically Scorpion, but they could also project their forms, so as soon as they've killed, they can project the people they've killed. Yeah, quite disturbing. The tower activates and electrical bolts shoot through the Skifra ship, forcing it to leave Earth. Now, we get a lovely bit at the end, which is reminding me of Vincent and the Doctor. Now, if you remember at the end of that episode, Amy is quite devastated of what happened to Van Gogh, but the Doctor comforts her that even though he did go through that, he's still well known and he's still great, and his paintings, he's still basically a big person, no matter what he went through. Although it wasn't great, it's how history went, and they just have to remember him as the great artist that he would become. So yeah, Yaz, of course, that is quite distraught to learn from the Doctor that Nikola Tesla, was recognised as helping to save the Earth. His reputation in the future remained unchanged, and yeah, he still was quite poor, had no money. So that was a really good moment. And that's basically the gist of the episode. Now, I'll go through the bits that I liked. Like I said, Robert Glenister and the guy who played Nikola Tesla, Goran Vision. Okay, I'm gonna just guess it there. So Goran Vision and Robert Glenister were brilliant as Tesla and Thomas Edison. Hayley McGee, who played Dorothy Skerritt, Tesla's assistant, she was great. Good performance from her. Bradley Walsh, I still don't like him, as you know, and Graham is just basically Bradley Walsh. So I agree that in Series 11 he did give a good performance because of the whole arc of Graham's grief from losing Grace and, Ryan. And I do think, and I've repeated this, I do think Graham and Ryan should leave at the end of the series and just leave Yaz and the Doctor, because it's quite hard to fit 3 companions in to do something meaningful. And Graham and Ryan, well, they don't really get much to do in this episode, and now Yaz does. I mean, she's often paired with Nikola Tesla, and they seem to be great together as well. But Graham and Ryan, they just seem to be there for the sake of being there. Now, I'm sure they'll get more to do next week, but of course you never know. And that's the issue with 3 companions. You have to have something for every companion to do something meaningful, and it's quite hard to squeeze them all in the 50-minute episode, to squeeze them all in equal screen time and stuff. I mean, obviously they managed in the 60s with Ian and Barbara and Susan, and then Ian and Barbara and Vicky, and then Stephen and Dodo. Oh no, that was just 2 including the Doctor. No, never mind. And obviously in the 80s, Adric, Nissa and Tegan. Adric, Nissa, Tegan. Yeah. So they managed then. But to me, I think 2 companions, or at least one companion and the Doctor, or the Doctor with 2 companions is enough. Like the Doctor, Martha and Jack, or the Doctor, Rose and Jack, so the 9th Doctor, or the 10th Doctor with Rose and Jack, or the 10th Doctor with Martha and Jack. That worked. But 3 companions, I'm not really keen on the idea of that. And when Bradley Walsh was announced, I mean, I didn't like Bradley Walsh anyway, and I still don't, because so I'm quite looking forward for him to leave Doctor Who, but and Toshin Cole, because I don't know, I don't really feel something for Ryan. You know, you want to feel the characters. Yaz, I quite like her, and there's so much potential with her. It should just be her and Jodie, really. That's what I would have done. And yeah, kicked Graham and Ryan out. So yeah. In terms of guest star performances, Anjali Mahindra was completely unrecognisable as the Queen of the Skifra. Excellent performance from her. And, well, there wasn't really that large of a cast, apart from Nico Tesla, Thomas Edison, Dorothy Skirrett, all the other human characters. I mean, Harold Green? Who the heck is Harold Green? I can't remember. He mustn't have been a big character. And yeah, Paul Casey. Paul Casey made a return. Because he's not been in Doctor Who since Deep Breath, but of course he has been in the in some of the Star Wars films. But yeah, he makes his return to Doctor Who, so that's great. And Paul Casey, if you're wondering, he's the actor who is, you know, if you get a tall alien or a small alien, he's the one that is really good to do. So he's played some Cybermen, the Clockwork Android in Deep Breath, I think. Oh no, Footman. Okay. The Hoyks. Yeah, an Autumn, so that will be in Rose. A Slitheen. Ugh. The Slitheen, I can't stand them now, really. So yeah. Yeah, he's played Danude, the android, from the Parting of the Waves. So yeah, he's basically a character actor as such. I don't think he's ever appeared in a live action role, apart from this. Actually, this is his first live action role in Doctor Who. I presume. I cannot remember Harold Green. Yeah. So this episode was one of the. So this episode was written by Nina Metiver. It was her first time writing. Would I invite her back potentially for series 13? Probably not, because it wasn't amazing. But of course, we've seen, you know, with writers. I mean, Helen Rayner, she wrote the Dalek two-parter in series 3, and then came back with that fantastic Sontaran story. So you never know. And it was directed by Nida Mansour, and I was reading in my Doctor Who magazine, she was introduced to the Matt Smith era. So yeah, maybe. I mean, did I see anything that would invite her back? I don't think so, no. I tell you who I would like to come back as directors, though. Joe Ahern, Euros Lynn, and Rachel Taylor. Rachel Taylor, because she's directed some of the finest episodes in the series, as is Euros Lynn, and as is Joe Ahern. But there's one other reason, because if Joe Ahern returns, Christopher Eccleston admired him very well. Very admired by Christopher Eccleston, and he jokes that if Joe agrees to direct the 100th anniversary special, I'll bring my Sonic and my Stairlift. And if Joe agreed to direct the 60th and the script he had his apology with the BBC, Eccleston could come back. So Chibnall, if you're still writing for the 60th, hire Joe Ahern, because not only because he's directed some of the finest episodes and needs to be invited back, do anything to get Eccleston back, and that means hiring Joe Ahern. And yeah, Joe has directed some of the finest episodes. He directed The Parting of the Ways, Bad Wolf, Father's Day, which are all brilliant episodes of Series 1. Boomtown, not so great, but apart from that, a great and Dalek, Dalek is a fantastic story. So yeah, definitely get Ahern back in Doctor Who. Rachel Talalay, she directed Heaven Sent, which is absolutely fantastic. I remember I had doubts of an episode just with Peter Capaldi. It's fantastic. Capaldi, he was absolutely great, and I do miss him as the Doctor because he was just absolutely fantastic. She also directed Hellbent, the Series 8 finale, Capaldi's regeneration story. Yeah, definitely invite Rachel Talalay back because the Series 10 finale, Heaven Sent, she's directed some fine episodes. Definitely bring her back. And Euros Lyn. Well, Euros Lyn, he's a Welsh director, in case you didn't know, and he directed quite a few episodes for Doctor Who. He directed The End of the World for Doctor Who, The Unquiet Dead. He directed the Children in mini episode, and this is quite a good thing. Euros Lyn, he directed the Children in, which is technically David Tennant's first moments, and yet directed his last moments in The End of Time. I mean, technically you could say Joe Ahern directed David's first moments because that includes the regeneration in The Parting of the Ways, unless Euros Lyn actually directed that. That'd be very interesting. Yes, Euros Lyn, he directed Tooth and Claw, The Girl in the Fireplace, The Idiot's Lantern, Fear Her, The Runaway Bride. What else? So quite some episodes in Series 2. Didn't get invited back for Series 3 or wasn't available. And then he directed Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, very good episode, and The End of Time, another great episode. So lots of good, apart from Fear Her, that's garbage, that is, in my opinion. That's one of the few stinkers. I mean, a girl drawing drawings and scribbles as aliens, just dreadful in my opinion. But I would like to see Euros back. Euros, Joe and Rachel, those are the three directors I'd love to see back in Doctor Who. So it'd be great if they could bring them back, but of course it depends on availability and all that stuff. So let's check what we've got next in on Doctor Who, shall we? So as I said, the Judoon is coming back, and this is a lovely fact. A new character in the episode is actually named after a fan who passed away. Paul Condon. Paul Condon will have a Judoon named after him in the next episode. So that's very nice. Oh right. Chris Chibnall, who had known Condon for over 30 years and paid tribute to him in an issue, Doctor Who magazine last year after his death. Right, okay. So, Doctor Who mega fan, BBC Online producer and sometime convention organiser Paul Condon. So, this will be very, very good. Oh wow, that's gonna be very good. And Paul Cassidy is back again. He's playing the Judoon. So that's good to see him back as well. Right, so yeah, Fugitive of the Judoon. So that's next episode, and the Judoon are returning for the first proper time since Smith and Jones in Doctor Who. They did appear in the Stolen Earth, but I don't really count that as a Jadoon story because they're not really main characters in it. So yeah, the Jadoon in Gloucestershire. That's what is it with Sheffield and Gloucestershire? Is maybe it's just me, but it's probably the BBC diversity. So, well, yeah. And Nida Manzoor, who directed the last episode, she's back for this one as well. So, in this episode we've got Joe Martin, Neil Stuke, Ritu Arya, and Chris Chibnall co-writes this with Vinny Patel, who wrote the Demons of the Punjab, the Series 11 episode. Okay, well, I haven't stumbled too much on this review, which is absolutely great, because I'm trying not to stumble. I usually do, and I've not even laughed. Usually when I see myself in the camera, I just laugh. I think I find my face funny. Alright, well, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I think that's been a great video. And can I just say thank you guys for subscribing. 41 subscribers, that is amazing. If you want to, feel free to like, share, comment and subscribe to Lightning Born YouTube channel if you want to raise that number up, but of course you don't have to. And yet, thank you, because it proves as long as you, the audience, love it, I love doing these. As long as those two things, I will still keep doing these because I really do enjoy it. Obviously, as I said in the football video with Ben, I'm not sure, what the situation will be come the summer, because there could be some, changes, shall I say. I'll explain more, when I know what's happening. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for 41 subscribers, that's great. If you want to, feel free, like, share, comment and subscribe to the Lightning Born YouTube channel. I'll be back with Ben tomorrow. We're reviewing United v Liverpool, and we're also doing pre-match build-up to United v Burnley. So I will see you then. For now, have a good evening, and I'll also be back. If you don't want to watch the football, then join me on Sunday as I review Fugitive of the Jadoon. Yes, will the Jadoon be actually threatening and interesting? We shall see. Alright guys, as I said, like, share, comment and subscribe to the Lightning Born YouTube channel. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye guys.